Yo Agwan, hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a beat for Gunna, a guitar beat for Gunna, a guitar trap beat for Gunna in FL Studio 20. Okay, this is going to give you a lot of insight into the beat making process, so definitely stay tuned to the end of this video if you want to learn how you can make your own Gunna type beats in FL Studio. Okay, now if you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carteret from jcarteret.com, teaching you how to be better at music, online business and online marketing. This is the #1 spot for musicians and creatives that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, click on that subscribe button, check out the rest of the content on the channel because you will love it here, guaranteed. Now my question of the day is, what tempo do you usually make your beats at? Okay, let me know in that comment section down below. Now let's get straight into this. Now in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to break down a beat that I made earlier. This is one that I've made a little bit earlier. Okay, so we're gonna go through each layer and all that sort of stuff, but first let me play this back for you. Let me actually put on my headphones so I can listen back and, you know, the speakers won't beat you up. All right, so we're gonna play this back, and this is one of my favorite beats that I recently made. Like, I really like this one, so I thought it'd be good to break it down for you and to give you some insight into what's going on here. And honestly, I hate when people teach you how to make beats on YouTube, or they walk through their beats and they don't show you the instruments that they're using or the patches that they use. So I'm going to be showing you exactly what VSTs I'm using and the specific patches that I'm using in those VSTs, so that you can use them yourself if you want to get the same sound. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to be playing about up until the end of the verse, so you can get the chorus, the intro and the verse, and I guess we'll get the pre-chorus as well, so you can see what's going on here. Okay, so let's play this back.
This is called Raid Cooking.
Okay, some of that cut out a little bit while it was playing back, but I believe that, okay, that doesn't matter, but yeah, I think that's because of the ample sound guitar. Ample sound guitar uses a bunch of processing power, and generally what I would do is, after I get the guitar sound and all that sort of stuff, I just delete it so that I've got less processing power. And I've also got like 3 omnispheres in here as well, so that's not doing anybody any favors. So, and I'm recording, so, you know, hard times out here. So let me quickly just make sure that this was okay. It was playing back the sound. I just had to check, to double check before we move on. So we've got a few instruments in here, okay, and we're just gonna go bit by bit. So let's actually turn everything on, and we'll solo each one at a time. So let's start with, I don't even know what this is because I didn't name it. Oh no, it's on track 3. This is my chord up. So let's bring up Omnisphere. so you can see what ARP I'm using. Now pretty much every beat that I create, I'll have an ARP in there, and pretty much every beat that I create these days, I'm using the exact same ARP. So if you got any ARP suggestions for me, please let me know. I am looking for new ARPs, but this ARP just works every single time. So in Omnisphere, it's called Astral Visions 1, and to get to it, you go to ARPs and BPM, and then you'll see Astral Visions 1 down there. So let's play this back and you can kind of see what's going on here. Let's also bring up the MIDI. So we've got the chords laid out like this, and with my ARPs, I'll generally bring it up an octave. By the way, all of these sounds are being run through my R&B trap beat mixing template. Without this template, they will sound very different. So if you want to get the same effects, you want to get your beat sounding professional, you want to get it half mixed in seconds instead of hours, then check out this beat mixing template. Link will be down below. But you also get this beat mixing template if you sign up to my course, which the link will also be down below, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so I'll show you the mixing that I'm using for these instruments, the basic mixing, in a bit, but first let's just go through the instruments. So this is the MIDI for this. Let's go to pattern, let's play this back. Okay, so that's that. We've got the chords laid out, and we've got some passing notes as well as some top melody notes. I believe this is basically the guitar melody, but instead of having the chords, oh, I forgot what the word is when you have the chords arpeggiated. Instead of having the chords arpeggiated, like going from one note to the next note, like so, like something like that. Instead of that, we've put all the chords on the bar, and that's basically what we've done there. Okay, so this was actually inspired by a Gunna song. I think it was the Dirty Diana song of the new Gunna album. I believe that's what it was, but don't quote me on that. It was one of these guitar songs that he's got on the new album. Yeah, I think it was that one. Really feeling that. So that's the ARP. Yeah, let's actually get rid of this because I do believe the ARP sounds a little bit different in the actual song. So let's bring this up and let's go to the chord ARP, and you'll hear how it sounds right here. And the reason it sounds like that is because we used our little friend halftime, and we set that to 1 bar, and we basically kept everything else the same. Like I just like to fling halftime on. Like I generally don't do too much to the settings in halftime when I'm using it. I'll just halftime something sometimes depending on what kind of sound I'm going for. So with this up, we halftime that to 1 bar, and of course we added RC20. Add RC20 to basically all my melodies. So I highly suggest you grab RC20. I'll leave a link down below because RC20 is just, you know, it's just mwah. It's just mwah. It's just beautiful stuff. Yeah, or you could go to jcarterray.com/RC20, and yeah, RC20, I use the VHS preset for my ARPs, and this is the setup there, and I've changed some things around. So that's that with our ARP. Next we'll have the chord pad, which let's actually play this back in the beat so you hear what it sounds like in the beat and not in Omnisphere. And I like to use the pad as a soft background element. I don't want it to overpower anything. I like to mix it quite low, but I like it to just add a little bit of oomph into the chorus and to have you feel like, wow, this is a chorus. There's a lot of stuff going on. This is the chorus right about now. So I mix it very low, and I don't do too much with it. Okay, I just want it to just add a little bit of ambiance. So let's go to the pad and we'll show you how that's set up. As you can see, it's just the chords. Okay, it's just the chords and the passing notes into the next chord like so. This is in G minor, so I believe this is one. Let's change this. Now, you don't need to know the whole chord progression, do you? I don't think that's necessary. Let me know in the comment sections if you want me to go through the chord progressions in future videos and whatnot, because I don't know if I should tell you like the whole chord progression. You can kind of see the notes in it. So that's that. I do also bring this up an octave. So this is currently on the 6th octave. Let's bring up Omnisphere and you'll see the same pad that I use for pretty much all my beats. It's this one, area and wet flutes. You'll get that in the pads and strings, area and wet flutes, and I turn off the Russian flute air. The reason why I turn off the air is because I add extra noise with RC20. Okay, so let's quickly play through this so you can hear what's going on. Very loud, very high end, a bit too much, yeah, but I like to pitch it high so that when I actually turn it into audio, I pitch it lower. Okay, so that's what I do. I pitch it high, I put it in the MIDI, and then I turn it into audio and pitch it lower. And you should definitely check out my what is it, melody secrets or something like that, one of my melody tutorials where I show you through my whole process of how I get my melodies to sound great, like, you know, this pad here. Like, it sounds way more weathered and vintage than it does just coming straight out on this fair. So with this, we do have RC20. Obviously I've got EQ on there as well, but I'm not going to go through all my EQs, otherwise we'd be here forever. If you want to see my EQs, just download the R&B trap beat mixing template, link down below. So we've got vinyl 1. I generally use the same RC20 that I used on my main melody, so whether that's a main guitar melody or main pluck or bell or what have you, I'll just copy it over to the pad, and that's my settings for that. So next we've got the synth bass, which is basically used for the pre-chorus, and this just basically follows the bass notes. So this is my synth bass, and we've got this on the 4th octave. Now, depending on what octave you pick, you'll get a very different sound with the synth bass, so keep that in mind. Now, I will show you which synth bass we're using. We're using Sine Moog bass, but honestly, with my basses, I'll only use 3 different basses right about now. So let's go to ratings, and we'll use the Sine Moog bass, the Super Moog bass, or the Growler Moog bass. So for this beat, we use the Sine Moog bass. And let's quickly play this back so you can hear what that sounds like. Let's get rid of that. I believe over here, yeah, here's where we got that set up. Very simple stuff, just adding a little bit more ambiance, just getting you ready for that chorus. Okay, so that's the synth bass. Then we've got the perk. I guess I can play this back in here. This is just layered with the clap. So this isn't a perk actually. Anything that's on channel 9 is layered with the clap. So this, I like to layer a perk with the clap, or not a perk, a rim with the clap. So this rim, and then I'll layer a snare and maybe another snare or a clap. Okay, so next we've got this snare, and then we've got this clap, just to get basically all the elements that I want for my clap. Generally I want some high end, I want a lot of mid, and I want a little bit of mid lows. So we've got, you know, the bite, and we've got a little bit of, you know, grittiness to it, as well as a little bit of high end to let you know, yo, the claps around here. That's that. Then we've got the hi-hats, which let's go into that real quick. Very simple, just some simple rolls, not a lot of stuff going on here. And then what I'll do is I'll randomize it. So I'll press Control A, then Alt R, and I'll randomize the velocities a little bit. I won't have bipolar on, and then we'll pan them generally left to right, but for this beat I did not do that. So let's keep it moving then. The effects I'll have on these drums is just EQing, so we don't need to go into any super deep effects or what have you for that. Then we've got this snare. Like so. Then we've got this open hat. And with this open hat, we do have some delay on it, just some fruity delay. Let me quickly show you. These are the settings. Honestly, I've just never changed the settings from this template. I just leave it the same. Then we've got another snare that we're using as a perk. And the way that's set up is we've got the snare going down to another note at the end, like so. Then we've got the Ricch 808. Now this is the 808 that I use for pretty much most of my guitar trap beats, or any beats where I want that fast 808, I'll just use this Ricch 808. Otherwise I'll use the Spins 808 if I need something else. So this is the 808. And because all of this was in a pretty good octave, I didn't really need to add anything like R bass to it. If the octave moves a little bit lower than this, then generally I'll need to add some R bass to get the sound out so that you can hear everything. But this, we've just got EQ and some sound goodizer. And there's the sound goodizer. We got an A and we've got a little bit on there. Okay. So next we've got the kick, and I like to use the rack kick pretty much for all my beats these days. And this is the setup for the kick. So with this, we do have this last hit going down in velocity a little bit, and it does create some movement. So there we have it. Next we have the guitar, which is the main thing. So here we're using Ample Guitar Lite. Now since this beat, I have got the full version of Ample Guitar, and it is way better, to be honest. Way better. Like, it just sounds more realistic. It sounds like a guitar. But Ample Guitar Lite is worth checking out if you need a guitar plugin and you haven't got any. So let's quickly open this up, although I don't believe there are any presets in this. Yeah, I just used the default mode of Ample Guitar Lite. So whatever the default mode is, that's what we used. That's Ample Guitar Lite. And then this is the actual pattern. So let's play this back. First, let's play the actual guitar in the beat. Just a beautiful melody, like it's almost bringing tears to my eyes. But here we go. Here's the Ample guitar. This is what it sounded like before we brought it out here and added the effects and, you know, pitched it down and all that sort of stuff. Jesus Christ, Ample guitar is killing my CPU. I'm gonna try to get this playing back. I don't know how this is gonna work with my recording software. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if everything's just gonna be out of sync now, but let's try real hard. And when I was actually creating the melody, it was down an octave, so it sounded like this. Okay, it's too much. It's too much. We gotta leave it alone. It's dying. I don't even know if this recording is gonna keep going at this point. Wow, murdered my whole CPU. And I upgraded my CPU so that stuff like this wouldn't happen. But Ample Guitar is just, it just uses a bunch of CPU. Damn. I was like, nope. Let's get out of here. Damn. So let's open that back up. Sorry about that. All right, so we've got FL Studio back up after it was like, no, we're not doing that, yeah. And honestly, I can't play ample guitar again in my videos. I'm not gonna basically show you ample guitar when I've got all this other stuff going on, because it's just gonna kill my system, and FL Studio just doesn't want it. So what I can do instead is just play you the original version of the audio that I bounced down. But I already basically played you that when I showed you the higher octave version, so we don't need to do that again. But what I do want to show you is the effects that we've got on the guitar. Okay, so let's bring the mixer over here so you can see what's going on. So first of all, I've got my normal EQs. Now, depending on what I'm going for, generally, like, my normal EQ cuts out a lot of the high end. Okay, now I'll let in a little bit of the high end when I'm using a guitar, just to let those notes hit through a little bit more. So as you can see, we've got a cut to around 5,000. This is 4.9, but it's around 5,000. Okay, and we are cutting out a lot of the frequencies that basically just sounded bad, like they just didn't sound nice. So I just did a dip around there basically, and everything else you just leave the same, and you like cut out the lows, of course, so that that 808 can come through and be banging. Now with RC20, we're using vinyl 1, which is generally the one that I use. These are the effects that we've got on there. And then we also use halftime for the verse melody. So the verse melody, in order to get that, we just use halftime. And I've got that on 1 bar for this right about now. So that's how we turned this chorus guitar into the verse guitar. And that melody, oh my god, like that melody, I just love it. I love it. Like, first of all, I love it in the chorus guitar, then I love it even more in the verse. It's just great stuff. So generally, I'll have a chorus melody, and then I'll create a verse melody by using halftime. Just fling some halftime on it. Now you got a verse melody. It's not a lot of effort. You don't have to spend 3 hours coming up with the verse melody or finding something that works. You just have that right there. It's slower, so it has that verse ambiance in there. It makes sense that it's a verse melody, and everything sounds cool. Last but not least is the vocal chop. Now the vocal chop I got from Arcade. Let's listen back to it. Now with the vocal chop, we're not doing too much with that. Like, we don't want the vocal chop to be too in your face. We want it to be another background element, kind of like the pad. Just add in more ambience, add in more, not energy, but add in a little bit more oomph to the beat, okay? And making it sound less simple than it really is, okay? Then we've got RC20 on that. Those are the settings, VHS usually for my vocal chops, and those are the settings for this specific one. We've got a dip on the low end, always needs to be done, and I use 7th Heaven to basically just make my vocal chops larger than life and add a bunch of reverb to it. Usually I wouldn't add reverb directly to a channel, but for this I do, and I like the effects that I get with it, so I just continued doing that. And yeah, I could show you the EQ. There we go. We've just got another band pass basically. So we've gotten rid of the low end, gotten rid of some of the high end. And the actual thing that we're using is Arcade, and it doesn't seem okay. It's Constellations. There we go. That's the actual thing that we're using. I don't know how to just get in here from here, because me just pressing it, it's not okay. Yeah, there we go. We go to play, and now you can hear the different things that we got in there. Sometimes I'll add some halftime to this, but in this particular situation I did not. Okay, so that's everything in the beat. This is coming up to 28 minutes. Hopefully I can get this to a 20-minute video. And that's how you make a beat for Gunna. Very, very simple. Let me quickly just go back into the guitar melody so you can kind of break down how this is created, just in case you don't know how to create guitar melodies, which is something that I had a lot of trouble with. Now these are just chords, okay? These are just chords. Now the chords start on the bar, but what we're doing here is we're alternating the notes that are played. So this is, I think it's called arpeggiating, to be honest, but I'm alternating the notes, innit? Instead of all the notes playing at the same time, we've got the root note playing first, and then we either pick the middle or top note to go next. So depending on which one you pick, you'll get a different sound. So we've got the root note, then the top note, then the middle note, then the root note, then the middle note, then the top note. Gives you a different vibe for each of those chords, okay? And we're using the same chords, okay? So this is a 1, and then, yeah, let me actually tell you which chords we're using. So let's go to G. So it's 1, 7, 6. So it's 1, then 6, okay? So we've got the 1, and then we're skipping 1, and then we've gone to the next one, and then we've created that chord. If you don't know how to create chords, watch my videos on how to create chords and all that sort of stuff. It's going to teach you the basics of stuff that you really need to know. And if you want a comprehensive step-by-step tutorial, a step-by-step program that will teach you everything you need to know about music theory and how to create chords and how to create melodies from scratch, as well as how to make beats from scratch, then you can get a trial of my foolproof formula for R&B trap production in FL Studio course. Link is down below, or go to jcarterray.com/formula R&B trap trial. Okay, that link will be on the screen. I'm not 100% sure if I said the right thing, but hopefully I did, because yeah, formula R&B trap trial, I believe that's the right link. Okay, so we've got the chords down here, and I've added a passing note, which is the same passing note to each chord. And then up here we've got some melody notes, which is basically like the upper melody. So if we play this back, this is what it sounds like. So this is dun 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 dun. And with this, let me give you a little bit of sauce, a little bit extra sauce. So with the chords, these are very basic. You just make chords, okay? You make chords and you set them up however you really want them to be. You can make them really, really simple like this, and you'll get a nice little vibe going on, yeah? With the upper melody, now this is where you get a little bit more creative. Now, I can't really give you a formula to create an upper melody like this, but generally, if you go down the stairs like this, you'll get a good sound, innit? And I like to go down the stairs to whatever was the first note over here, generally, okay, with my upper melodies. So as you can see, this note is A sharp, so we've gone down to A sharp. Generally, I'd go down to C, and then the A sharp would start here, but we've gone down to A sharp in this particular melody. Or what you can do is, if I've got a note that starts right here, that's when I'll just go like right down to the note before that note, and then it has a nice flow. So try that out. I hope I explained that well enough. I'm gonna make videos on how to create guitar melodies, so don't worry about that. We're gonna get super in depth into that, because that is definitely something that I'm super interested in and something that I'd love to help you with. Okay, so if you want to learn how to make your own beats from scratch, step by step, you want a step-by-step formula that's going to teach you everything you need to know, go check out that link in the description. Check out that 7-day trial. Go to jcarterray.com/formula R&B trap trial try that out before that offer goes forever. And that's how you make a guitar trap beat for Gunna in FL Studio 20. If you got any questions or any other tutorials you want me to make, let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you in the next video where you'll learn more about music, online business, and online marketing. Peace out.